Hello. I'm Yolanda. I am co-founder of Harper Therapy, and I got my wing people here. So Shaman is
right.
a co-founder of Harper Therapy, and then Tony is one of our amazing therapists here. She works magic with teens.
Right.
She's our teen guru.
And teens are what we're talking about this
We're
morning.
talking about teens, and we've got some really... I am so glad that I'm hopping into this conversation. I seriously am. Tell us what it's about.
So today we're going to talk about teens and social media, because that's a pretty big deal nowadays. And
No.
You don't say.
You don't say. Right.
And it's something that, like, growing up, I didn't have social media. I didn't know.
Right.
So trying to learn how to,
Shockingly, neither did I.
No,
I know you're surprised.
really?
I know you're really surprised by that.
So learning how to parent your kiddo when there's social media now involved, and you can record everything.
Right.
And everything is out there forever.
Right.
Everyone can see it. Anyone can access it.
Right.
So trying to work with it, like the pain is in the resistance. So rather than trying to be like, well, I say, like, my daughter isn't getting social media until she's out of the house and in college, and
Good luck with
yeah,
that.
all
Good luck with that.
Right, yeah. I already, big dreams.
She's probably
Like,
already on it. You don't even know.
I know she already makes like YouTube videos, so it's great. But yeah, like, I'm not gonna get far doing that.
Right.
So trying to learn how to parent and use social media to our benefit, and recognizing how much we as adults, even though we didn't grow up with it, like, I know after a long hard day, I'm on my phone on the recliner scrolling through TikTok is a terrible guilty pleasure.
You are rotting your brain out.
Yes, completely. And I know it's just it's mindless. It's
Right.
numbing. I'm not paying attention. Sometimes there's a funny joke. Sometimes I really learn stuff from it. It's kind of cool. And sometimes you find the great leggings that are going to make your booty pop and all that good stuff. Like, that's
Take
what I'm
away
looking
all of
for.
your problems.
Yes, just buy these leggings for $100. All your problems go away.
Right.
So if I'm looking at social media for that, and my kids are watching,
Yeah.
they're going to do the same thing.
Even if, like, you were to take away their social media, it still filters down through their friends and all that. They're
still going to,
like it or not, they're getting influenced
Yep.
by the TikTok and Instagram and everything, right?
Well, and
YouTube.
like back in my day,
Oh Lord.
there was the do as I say, not as I do.
yes.
Right.
and-
We talked about that a little bit last week.
Yeah,
You weren't here, but
and
we did.
so that doesn't play out.
Right.
And I'm like, let's set our kids up for success, and
Right.
we know that even if we say no social media, they're gonna figure out a way
Right.
to get on social media.
Yeah.
And then we're going to be upset that they're sneaking behind our backs when we've kind of set that up.
So
Yeah.
all our kids were on social media long before we knew.
Mm-hmm.
They all lied and said they were on it. They were old enough. At course, at
Oh,
the
they
time,
lied on
on
the social
Facebook.
media.
And,
Yeah.
at the time, the only thing there was Facebook.
Right.
Because we have older kids.
Yeah.
But it's the same way with the rest of it as well, right? So they lie to get on it early. They get on it, don't even tell you. Like, we have family members whose kids were on it and their parents didn't even know they had accounts, and then like they're friending their aunts and uncles, and it's like, wait, who's this person? So yeah, I mean, like it or not, they're going to find a way, or they're going to get influenced by it regardless.
Well, and that's how kids nowadays feel.
Right? The kids, well, you feel so old, don't you?
Just get off my grass with your social media. But like, that's how they make friends, and that's how they communicate. Like,
That's how they should
Snapchat is very popular.
Oh, absolutely.
You don't hand out phone numbers anymore. You hand out your Snap,
Right.
and that's how you find people. Like,
Right.
that's so it's a whole new world. And then with hiding it, they're not telling you about it. So when they have a stranger come talk to them,
Right.
so you're not educating them about the dangers of it. They just think you're being an old crotchety mom who doesn't want them to have social media. They're not aware of all the dangers.
Right.
And when something does happen, they're too scared to come to you.
Right.
Because they're already telling a lie. So
Right.
how mad are you going to be if you say, I'm really
sure.
scared?
Well,
Right.
I was about to say it's the anger is really fear, right? And whereas if it is something that you're navigating through together, and you can talk through the things, and still they're going to be afraid about getting in trouble or mom or dad getting
That's
mad.
just kids, right?
That's just, especially teens,
Right.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's about creating the right boundaries, like we talked about last week, around social media, but understanding those boundaries can be moved and changed as your kids earn your trust.
Right.
And being able to come back and be like, okay, well, I see that you're making good decisions and not allowing strangers on your Snapchat or whatever. So, yeah, I guess we can open it up a little bit. Now you can have an Instagram or whatever.
Right.
And having that conversation about like, hey, so what's working for you with social media? What scares you about it? What doesn't? And I think having those conversations with your teen is the most important because it makes them feel part of the decision.
Right. I think you gotta get curious about like what is it that drives you with it? What is it that interests you here? You know, at least then you kind of know where they're at with it too. Because even once just being on social media is not enough, right? Like everybody kind of has like their niche in social media, their interests, their, you know, especially when you start getting into TikTok and things like that are very niche down, right? It's important to kind of understand where they're going with it, and like we were talking about last week with trust and boundaries. So now we're saying it's not so black and white; it's a little more gray, and that's built off that communication and trust and those boundaries.
Well, and to go back to what you said about having them be part of like the process and the decision making, like teens, that their job is to individuate, right? Their job is to like recognize that they are separate from mom and dad, and even separate from all of the rules and all of that foundation. It's still there, but they're trying to find their own way and their own identity. And so when we include them in these decisions, that
it helps them build off of that and realize where they are and all of that.
So rather than like, nope, can't do it, and put yourself in, you just put your head in the sand and pretend like it's not happening. We got to take a different approach.
Yes.
You know, we got to be a little more conversational through it and a little more open with it, and we got to try to put some healthy boundaries in place that, you know, we're meeting them at a point and they feel like they're bought in to that decision making. Right. Doesn't necessarily mean they're making the decision.
Right.
But at least they get to weigh in. And you always have the right as the parent to decide yes or no if this is what I feel is safe for you.
Right, because all of this is not saying that then the kid takes control and you do what your teen says.
Right.
But letting them be a part of it is a lot different than just making that choice for them.
Right, because we hear a lot. I mean, we talked about last week, we hear, I want to be able to communicate better with my kid, right? And that is what we talked about, was that's going to require a little bit of trust, and you're going to build that. And then another big thing we hear is, you know, my kid is just obsessed with all of the things, like all the social media things.
Right, they're always on their phone.
They're always on their phone, right? They don't even look at me, they just look at their phone. And I mean, maybe there are some healthy boundaries, like having dinner as a family without the phones.
Right.
Or not every conversation towards your teen is a negative conversation, because they're not going to want to talk to you if the only thing you do is criticize what they're doing.
Get curious about what they're looking at. I mean, TikTok is really funny.
I mean, there's some
There's some good content
our
on
young
there.
Adult daughter sends me TikToks all the time.
Yeah.
All the time. I love it.
I mean, they're good times.
And I always respond, you're rotting your brain out. She's like, I know.
That's the new word for like, get off my grass.
You're rotting your brain?
Yeah,
that's the new get off my lawn? All right, fine. Whatever. I'm an old crotchety man.
Yeah.
Anyway, if you found some help with this today and you think you could use some support with this, you can give our office a call at 813-434-3639. I hope you guys have a great week. Bye.
Bye.